Now, I mentioned Renee Young before. I thought she did a tremendous job also with that Paul Heyman promo. I thought she played her role to perfection. Renee is just fantastic at what she does. Whether or not that translates to announcing, we're going to find out tomorrow night because Jonathan Coachman is on assignment, hopefully permanently, and WWE has announced that Renee Young will take his place for the entire duration, the entire 3 hours of Monday Night Raw. She is going to join Michael Cole and Corey Graves on commentary. She becomes the first woman ever to call an entire episode of Monday Night Raw. Now, she is not the first woman ever to do wrestling announcing. Even in WWE, you know, besides the little guest commentator stuff that they do every single week where somebody sits in, many years ago, I know that Mike McGurk, who did the ring announcing for WWE, she did some commentary as well. Now, she didn't do a lot of it, but there were at least a few times, a few matches I know she called. I don't remember which DVD it was. There was a DVD that WWE put out a while back, and I remember there being a 3-person team. I remember this because they were fucking atrocious, but it was Bruce Pritchard, Mike McGurk, and Duke Doherty. Now, if that last name sounds familiar, it's because I've mentioned this before, how god-awful an announcer Duke Doherty was. He was a wrestler. Really, he was like a jobber to the stars mostly, but he was a wrestler, and they used him primarily up in the New England area. And here, you know, for a while when he was doing the commentary, they used him as a heel announcer. His voice, a dead animal, was more pleasurable to listen to than Duke Doherty on commentary. He may have been a nice guy, he may have been a good worker, a good hand and all that, but announcing was not his strong suit. Anyway, Mike McGurk, point being, Mike McGurk did do some commentary for WWE. I believe she may have been the first woman in that company to have done commentary. There was another lady named Bonnie Blackstone who did announcing for Global in the early 90s. Even Renee Young herself, Renee herself did announcing for a time in NXT. And she has admitted in interviews that she was not very good at it. I think she's being a little hard on herself. She wasn't great, but she wasn't... I mean, believe me, I've heard worse. I don't think she was that bad. But look, she can't be any worse than Coachman's been. Coach has been pretty friggin' awful. Coach has been awful, and I would rather have Booker T back permanently than him. At least Booker was entertaining. But congrats to Renee. I'm looking forward to seeing how she does. They gave the story to ESPN for them to break it because everything has to be a big to-do now, and we have to pat ourselves on the back every time we do something. But I'm looking forward to seeing, you know, how she does. She just did commentary with Beth Phoenix and Michael Cole for the Mae Young Classic that airs next month. So I think between that and now this guest stint on Raw, unless it just turns into a complete disaster, which I don't think it will, I think this is probably a test run for her doing commentary at the Evolution show in October.